Micah Cook, what's up? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
So you are officially the first show of 2021. Congratulations.
Ooh, that's so special.
Yeah. We've had a shit year in 2020. I'm hoping this is a new, fresh start for everyone. And of course, you're a personal trainer, and I've been connected with you probably, I don't know, a year or so now. And you just seem to have really good positive vibes all the time. So I'm like, damn, I need to get you on. Let's wait till 2021 to kick this thing off when everyone's talking about the New Year's resolution and working out and all that. I'm just get you in here and let's chat.
That's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. So tell me, where you at right now? Where you from, and how did you get into the fitness industry as a whole?
Okay, so basically where I'm at right now is I'm in Lago Vista, Texas. So I've only been here for like 3 months. I moved here from Cedar Park. I was a head trainer at a F45, and I felt like I was getting capped. I felt like there was no room to grow there. And I've been in the fitness field for I would say 5-6 years.
Okay.
And I've always loved it, but I didn't dive into it until I started going to school for it.
Gotcha.
And then when I started going to school for it, I fell in love. And then I started working out and started transforming my body, and I really just got addicted to it, really. And it's a good addiction to have, right? Taking care of your body, and your body's a temple. So I basically was, I was kind of getting stagnant where I was at, and it was time to take a leap of faith. Yeah. So I basically did that. I quit where I was at, and I moved to Lago Vista, and I started my own fitness boot camps called My Temple Fitness.
Awesome.
And it's been amazing.
How long have you been doing that now?
Only 3 months.
Really? Well, congratulations.
Just started, yes. And I'm already getting established and changing and transforming lives. And you cannot put a price on that.
Well, I mean, you picked an interesting year and time to do that too. But I mean, there's never really a convenient time. And it's, kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to go for it, and I don't live my life in fear. I live it in faith. So I took a huge step and I did it, and it's just been a blessing. It really, truly has. So I'm so grateful.
Tell me about Micah growing up.
Oh. How far do you want to go down this line?
I don't care. Let's do it.
Well, I didn't have a very good childhood growing up,
okay.
Honestly. Grew up with alcoholic parents.
Okay.
There was a lot of control. There was a lot of, my dad was just, I don't think he knew how to be a father to a girl. I just, so I went through the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse. I moved out when I was 15.
Okay.
So I've been on my own since, hey. So everybody has a testimony, right? Everybody has a story, but, I lived my life in fear for a long time, and I had a lot of wounds and a lot of scars, and I had really bad toxic relationships because of my childhood.
Right.
And it was just till recent, about, I would say close to 2 years ago, when I finally ended a horrible relationship. I was with a narcissist, and I went on a spiritual journey. And from there, I found all of the patterns, all of the cycles that were created from my childhood, and I basically healed, forgave, released, and reprogrammed. So now I also wanted to tell you, so I also do life coaching. Okay. So I think what makes a good life coach is someone that's been there and done that and experienced it. Yeah. So I can resonate with everybody because I've gone through it all. But my childhood wasn't great growing up, but I always knew that there was something special within me. And I knew that I loved helping people. And I knew I loved animals and I loved helping people. So I knew that if I just took and went in that some sort of direction, and put it in God's hands, that I would figure out my purpose. And right. I've been doing that ever since. So
do you have any siblings?
I have a brother.
Okay. Older or younger? Older. Okay.
Yes.
So, I don't want to, get into on a negative thing here, but I'm glad I asked you that and you did say that, because the thing is, it's cliche all the time when people are like, you have to, so you're saying you're doing life coaching where you've been through those struggles and you're able to talk to people and relate, where there's a lot of people that you see and run into that say they're some type of coach and they really haven't been through the struggle. And, you know, the struggles what make you who you are now. And if you're able to relate to those things and, you know, come over it and, or overcome that and then, you know, be positive on that, on the outside, I mean, it's pretty good.
Absolutely. I feel like, you know, struggles and battles and trials and tribulations only make you stronger. So it's what you go through that shape you into your character, you know, and being able to recognize things and take off the judgment. Like, don't be so hard on yourself because shit happens.
Yeah.
And life is not beautiful and it's not peaches and rainbows, you know, sunshine and rainbows. Like, you're going to have bad days. You're going to have struggles. And that's the beautiful thing about life is it's all your attitude towards it and how you respond versus react to it.
I agree. I think, so when did you, at what age, you said you moved out early, I guess to escape that, you know, lifestyle, of course, that you were in. So what age did you start kind of developing your own, you know, self-being basically and pushing forward without letting that hold you back?
Honestly, when I moved out, because I had nobody, I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to work on my own. And it was either I was going to go down the addiction,
Yeah.
I was going to go drug path, or I was going to go towards the light, towards God, and go through that. So that's what I did. Instead of going this way, I went this way. And it was hard and it was a struggle. And, you know, I worked my ass off and I failed and I failed and I failed. But it was, it just shaped me and grew me every single time. And now I'm like a freaking warrior. Like, I have been through the motherfucking depths of hell.
Yeah.
Like a phoenix from the ashes, for real.
Well, so a 15-year-old you, what comes next after you move out? What do you do? What do you get into? I'm only asking these questions because I want people to hear from, you know, from leaving that toxic, you know, space in your life and the huge gap between there and now. What happened?
Oh my God. Well, it's just been trial and error. I've been just doing jobs. I've done everything. I've done everything trying to find my purpose back then. You know, like I said, I knew it was going to be helping people. I just didn't know what field or what. And when I found my passion for fitness, that's when everything changed for me.
Gotcha.
About 5 years ago, when I really found my passion for fitness, I started working at a gym, and then I went private, and then I started doing, going to people's homes. And that's when honestly, everything shifted for me, because that's when I knew I found my purpose was helping people, changing people. Yes.
So, if you were to say, something, okay, what's your most, let's see, what are you most passionate about in fitness?
In fitness,
yeah.
Changing a body, transforming a body. It is amazing. I think the body is the coolest thing in the world. And when you can really like learn how to work it and mold it and shape it and form it, it's just incredible what you can do with it.
Do you notice that, you know, it starts with, in my opinion, the past 10 years of helping people with fitness and stuff like that, do you notice that, I mean, it starts with the mental shift first, and that's the hardest thing before the other stuff rolls in?
Important thing. So this is what I'm huge on. Everything starts and ends in your mind.
Right.
So if you don't have control of this, everything else is going to be shit. Honestly, you have to be in alignment, and you also have to be with your heart and your mind. Like, everything needs to be in sync. And I always teach everybody, like, you have to have a positive mindset. You have to grow your mindset every day. You have to learn, you have to grow. You can't become stagnant. And you are not your thoughts. We have like 60,000 thoughts a day, right? That's freaking crazy. And it's like, you know, so many people get on this hamster wheel of negativity, and they get in this pity party, and then they get into this victim mindset. And it's like, no, bro, you need to take a hold of your life and say, no, I am not my thoughts. I'm going to choose to do this, because it's a choice. We have free will. So it's all how you choose to live your life. And I choose to live my life the best possible.
And I completely agree with that. You know, and a lot of people struggle with the depression and everything like that, even before they make it to making that mindset shift, before they can start working on their mind and then their body. Like, you have these people that are constantly in a negative whirlwind because of their surroundings. They're feeling sorry for themselves because of whatever may happen in their life, you know, and they're using excuses to bury that stuff down and not face it, take care of it, and move forward. And those are things that I really want to talk about, because like the past year, everyone's dealt with a hard time, you know. People have lost their jobs, people have lost loved ones, People
Yep.
have lost social interaction. You're not being able to go hang out with your friends, not being able to see family, not being able to see loved ones. These things are something that take its toll on the middle mindset. But at the end of the day, this is what we've been given. We have to work with it. You know what I mean? There's no way around it.
Exactly. And it all, like I said, it all starts and ends in that mind. And the thing is if you go through that, if you go to that rabbit hole, like you're going in that rabbit hole and it's going to really mess you up. That's why, you know, so many people have anxiety, have depression now because their mindset was not strong enough to pull them out of that, you know, and I'm trying to help people see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, everything is not going to be peaches and rainbow. Just because things don't go to your way doesn't mean you can't create for your future. Doesn't mean you can't shift yourself and start another path. You know, everything happens for a reason and everything is always in divine order. So you just have to see it from another perspective and take off the judgment. And like I said, own what you're going through, feel what you're going through, but don't act on the emotion of that. Like, sit with what you're feeling. And that's another thing. Like, so many people numb themselves and so many people aren't afraid to face their shit. You know, why they keep creating these toxic cycles. Like, you have to take ownership of your life. You have to create your life with your thoughts by meditating, by visualizing. Like, I do that every single day. Like, anything that I face and anything trial or tribulation that come my way, I'll feel a certain way, but I'll snap myself out of it because I know that it's a temporary thing. Everything is temporary, you know? So yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think that you get in a blur because you're not, and here's an important thing you said, you know, talking about meditating and visualizing, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you believe, no matter what it is, if you don't have a constant inkling to move forward, an idea of something that you're looking forward to, because you're too busy looking back on what happened yesterday or 10 years ago or 30 years ago, and you're letting that drown your motivation and push forward, there's absolutely no way you can move, you know, that way. You have to get those ideas out of your head. And I feel like that's something that's not talked about enough because people don't want to talk about
it. Exactly. Because they don't feel safe. They're not comfortable.
Right.
They're not. So many people get complacent and they don't get out of their comfort zone and they wonder why they're not growing. Like, it's an everyday thing. You have to work on your mind. You have to work on your body and your spirit every single day. Like, it has to be a priority. It has to be a habit. It has to be part of your daily everything. Because if not, I mean, you're going to be hit with all kinds of crazy chaos, you know? And honestly, when I started meditating, that's what really shifted me. Being able to quiet my mind and being able to see things through my third eye, being able to open that, like, wow. And so many people live in their past. So many people do not live in their present moment. This is all we have right now. Me and you. This is all we have right now. You can create for your future by visualizing, but so many people live in their past or they future trip. So many people can future trip and get in their mind and get on this crazy tailspin, because I've done it myself. And then they go in through this depression because they're like, I'm not where I'm going to be. Like, oh my God, you know, and they get on all of these thoughts and it goes on that freaking hamster wheel again. Like, life is crazy, but you have to own it and you have to create it moment by moment.
I couldn't agree more. You know, the energy I feel from you and that I want people to feel is that it doesn't matter what kind of, here's another thing. Okay. So a lot of times people are afraid to face those too because of judgment. Okay. They're worried about what someone's going to think. And it goes from a mental all the way to a physical. It may be someone he or she may be overweight and they're afraid to show up and work out in front of others because of how they feel about themselves. Or they're afraid to talk to someone or deal with something that's holding them back from the past because they're worried about what someone else will think. But here's the thing. No one gives a shit. Everyone has their own problems. You know what I mean? No one's gonna pity you. They're not gonna pity you. Just like when you were in middle school and you had that little zit right here that literally destroyed your entire day at 12 years old. You're like, oh my God, I cannot deal with this. I got to go to school looking like this. Shit. No one cares. They got their own zits. You know what I mean? Like, and this is something we gotta focus on.
I know. And that's another thing, like loving yourself and knowing your worth. Okay, listen, being single now for almost 2 years, I have really come into this dating thing. Like,
Yeah.
so many people are damaged and broken.
Yeah.
And so many people don't want to face their shit. So many people are in denial. So many people are taking their past experiences and put it into this new experience. Yep. And that is the biggest no-no you can do. Like, you have got to do the inner work on yourself. If you want anything in life, if you want a relationship, if you want to be successful, if you are trying to create something, you know, follow your gifts and dreams, like, you have to do the inner work. And it sucks, and the shadow work sucks, and it's painful as fuck, and you don't have anybody. Yep. Like, I didn't have anybody, and I was forced to face my own shit. Yep. I was forced to go within. I was forced to peel back the layers of the onion and figure out, like, oh my God, okay, not having that love from my dad, abandonment from my dad, yeah. mental, physical, emotional abuse. I attracted partners like my father. Yep. And, you know, now to this day, I've broken all that. And now it's healthy and balanced and beautiful. But I had to go through what I went through to realize, to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, now this is what I get to change and I get to do differently, so that I don't ever repeat those toxic cycles again.
So at what point, since just because you mentioned that, at what point in that past relationship did you realize, okay, I got to do something different?
The last one I was in. I was with a narcissist for 6 years.
What flipped the switch? What made you finally say, because I want you to tell this because people need to hear it. People may be going through something that they can't get away from because they're scared shitless because they're in their comfort zone, or they're leaning on those insecurities, whatever it may be.
So the thing with those people is they are so damn good at talking. They're such good liars and manipulators because they've been doing it for so long. I'm a light worker and I'm an empath, right? So people can feel my vibes and energy. And when people really reel you in, it's like it's like you're going to be their victim. So they tell you what you want to hear. They paint the big pretty picture, and then the control starts happening, and then the manipulation starts happening, and then they make you start second guessing yourself, and then they make you think that you have something wrong with you, and then it just goes to shit. I mean, I was so miserable, but I had nothing. This man controlled me with money. Yeah. He was a professional blackjack player, and he taught me how to play the game, and I actually picked it up, and I was actually really, really good. But besides the point, it was control over money, and it was so much manipulation, but I was so afraid to leave because he made me feel that I was going to never find love again. He made me feel that I wasn't going to make it with him, that I was going to basically be miserable for the rest of my life. They're so good at getting in your mind and fucking you up and twisting everything that it is just like, and I was broken back then, and I was weak, you know, and they prey on that. And he felt my light, and that is what they want. That's why empaths attract people that are broken, because we love to help people, and we like to fix people, right? So the last straw was, we were sleeping in separate bedrooms. It got to that point. I mean, there was no sexual stuff going on. It was like the worst feeling in the world is being in a relationship and feeling alone. That is the worst feeling in the world. And I would sit out in my room and cry and talk to God. And I just finally was fucking done. I took everything that I had and I fucking pieced out. I started working and I bought my own car and I just started building up. But that is this journey that I've been on these past almost 2 years. And, you know, I have been celibate. I haven't been dating. I haven't done anything but work on me. Right. You know, and I would not change that for anything, because it made me realize my worth. It made me realize my childhood wounds. It made me realize how fucking awesome and special I am, and that I will never, ever go through what I went through ever again. You know, and the thing is when you have to know your worth by walking away from a situation. You have to know that your gifts and abilities and what you are and what you bring to a table is enough. And no fucking man or woman deserves to go through abuse, no matter what the situation is. There should not be disrespect. You know, and another thing is the communication thing. Like, communication and trust and loyalty is everything, you know, and so many people are just they can't do it. And there's so many fights and arguments that come from that because people don't know how to communicate.
Right.
People don't know how to say what they feel. And, you know, people don't put their actions behind words, you know, so there's just so much fucked up shit in this generation. And I just want people to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that you can take a leap of faith and that you can do things, and you have to believe in yourself enough to know your freaking worth and know that you are going through what you're going through because something happened in your past that you haven't healed. Because when you're on a high vibrational frequency, which is energy, right? Everything is energy. You will not attract that into your vibration if you are whole, heal, and complete. And that is what I want everyone to know. You can be whole, healed, and complete on your own. You don't need anybody. A partner is supposed to grow with you and pick you up and be your best friend, and you grow with each other. Like, I want, you know, the person that I choose to be my partner, whenever that happens, I want to build an empire. I'm building my empire by myself right now. I'm so freaking happy inside and out. Like, I don't need that, but I also feel like that is the only thing in my life that is not complete, is having my partner.
Right.
So whenever that happens, it happens. But at the same time, like, I'm so healed, whole, and complete. If I were to run into anything, I can pick that up and be like, okay, no, not doing that, not going down that road.
Well, there's a few things that you said, and I agree. And you see it a lot. There's a few things that you said in there that I want to hit on. And the first thing is, so many people get tied into, whether it be business, personal, whatever, a relationship, to where they're so insecure on what may happen if that relationship ends, that it changes who they are moving forward and making decisions, which eventually makes them numb to everything. And then there's no support there anymore on the outside or the inside, because they don't believe in themselves. They don't respect the other person. They build up resentment, you know. And this is something that can be applied to everything. You know what I mean? It's not just, it can be relationship with family, it can be relationship with significant other, it can be relationship in business.
Everything.
You know. And another thing is the thing where it's like leaning on someone for financial stability. You know, now it's very great that you said that, and I'm glad you did, that you were in a situation to where you were comfortable, and that probably kept you in that relationship a little bit longer, but you were constantly hurting yourself because you may have been a little scared of going out on your own and doing it yourself, because you've already gotten this comfort zone, you're complacent, and then, you know, finally you just had enough to where you just flipped that switch. Well, my hopes are that us just even talking about this, that someone flips that switch earlier on than waiting until that point, you know, that breaking point.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You have to. It's just,
Well, and these things are built up, and we talk about it. People talk about these things all the time. And I feel like I hate discussing cliche ass topics with people who have no idea what they're talking about. Anyone can judge someone from the outside looking in, whether it be so-and-so's cheating on their spouse, so-and-so has kids, so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so doing. Here's the thing. You don't know what someone's went through. You don't know what someone's story is. And I feel like that those people that are constantly doing that are the people that really have their own issues. And I hate saying that shit because it is cliche, but it's the truth. You know, when it all boils down to it, we all are scared of something. Shit happens, and we're all dealing with it. We've all had bad shit happen to us. It's life. Some more than others. But you're in a position now to where if you've been through those bad things and you've, you know, risen above them, dealt with the demons and moved past it, it's almost like you have due diligence to come back and service those that are going through it and try to help them with the struggle. And that's why I like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exactly true. And I want to say one thing. Well, actually two things. So the hardest thing I think that you can do that I've come to realize, like on my journey, is forgiveness.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is the hardest thing to do. And it's taken me so much time, because like, you can't stand that person, you resent that person, and you're angry with that person, and you have frustration with that person. But let me tell you, that burden will start weighing on you, and it'll start freaking seeping in, and it's like a Band-Aid that you freaking put on your skin. It's just gonna seep, that blood is just gonna seep all over. And you know, you have to get to the point where you forgive the person, not for them, but for you.
Yeah.
So that you can move forward. And that is probably one of the hardest things on my spiritual journey that I've really realized. Because once you can forgive, then guess what? The anger goes away, the resentment goes away, and the frustration goes away.
Yeah.
How you heal. And it's hard and it sucks, but you got to do it.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, nothing worth talking about is easy. It just really isn't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And you were talking about trust and respect earlier too. And here's the thing, like, we have a fucked up generation. We're super entitled. And when I say me, I mean anyone from the ages of 25 to 35, really. You know, we have access to information at a drop of a hat. We can literally find emotional support, that bullshit emotional support, through someone else really quickly by utilizing looks or sexual innuendos or whatever. And here's the thing, like, that is, it's good and bad in certain aspects of technology, and, you know, being able to access information and having access to everything and being able to talk and contact with people and, you know, get in touch like you and I did and be able to talk about these things with people across the states or whatever it may be. But I feel like a lot of us are quick to put a wall up because of past experiences. With me, and when I talk to people, you're getting all my trust up front. And if you fuck it up, that's it. I feel like that's and this is my opinion, I feel like that's a better approach than walking into a situation with a wall that no one can climb because of something that happened past in my life.
Exactly. I'm the same way. Like, I'm a straight shooter. I say what I feel. I speak, like, if I'm interested in a person, I'm upfront. I'm an open book. Yeah. I literally, ask me anything. Yeah. I don't care. Everybody has a past. Your past doesn't define who you are. It's shit that you went through. Yeah. You know what I mean? So many people come in emotionally unavailable because they're so freaking broken from past shit that they haven't healed. They're afraid. What about ghosting? Have you heard of that this year? Who does that?
That's because, let's go on this rabbit hole. Okay, so that's because there's no fucking accountability. And I'll talk about this shit every episode until it's beat into people's brains. We do not hold ourselves accountable for shit. Instead of just saying, hey, so-and-so, I used you, I disrespected you, I'm gonna move on now because this is not going anywhere. And here again, this could be in a relationship or business, anything. Instead of just shooting someone straight because worrying about their judgment and not being able to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, we just hit the ignore the block button. You know? And man, we have to work on calling ourselves out on our bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit. Like, going within yourself, because so many people look for fucking outside validation, and that's what fucks you up, because it is a temporary solution. It is a temporary fix to the problem. It doesn't do nothing but gives you that little bit of gratification, that little bit of validation, and then what? You're back to square one. Yeah. You're back to freaking shit. And people do that for emotional fulfillment. Like, they seriously do. And it drives me crazy. It really does, because so many people are waking up, but they're still not there. They're still not there. And I mean, the whole planet is rising right now. So you're either going to get left behind, or you're going to go with the crew. You know what I'm saying? I'm rising up. Like, I'm growing every single day and making a point to that. So these people that I'm meeting, I'm like, wow, obviously you went through some shit. And then when you try to talk to them, they freaking freak out.
Right. And
do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, but you know, it's one of those things that you know, some it's harder for others, you know, than some. And if you can be that, you know, window to the other mindset, then you know, or that door, or whatever it may be, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Um, these things that we're constantly going through shape us into who we are, but we also view them as insecurities because it's something that can be used against us. We think that, you know, and it's just one of those things that you can't, no matter what you do, you're never going to be perfect. You know, there's even that beautiful hollow shell of a person who may be the best Instagram influencer in the world there's some problems. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing is people are fake.
Yeah.
People hide behind a computer screen and put on a front.
Yeah.
And look, as an empath, it is something that you're born with. It is a gift and ability. I have a gift and ability to feel energy. I pick up on vibrations. I can pick up sometimes psychically on things. It's crazy, but it's who I am. And I would never change. Oh, that's who God made me to be. There's so many people that put on a false persona on Facebook. Like, people need to just be who they truly are. Quit the fake shit and be who you are. Be authentic, be real, be you. There's only one you of this whole entire universe.
Exactly.
Like, oh,
You're unique. You're unique.
oh,
Stop trying to be like someone else. But it's always, that's always going to be there since the beginning of time, you know, all the way back to the dude with the wagon selling bullshit snake oils to people. It's not the internet, it's not social media. This is not what's hurting us. It's the fact that we're not held accountable for what we're saying, what we're doing, or we're putting on a facade because we're worried about judgment. The only reason why everyone's like, oh, it's social media. No, social media is the funnel. It's the internet that's connected us to the entire world. So you're seeing it more. Now you're more aware of this shit, but it's always been in human nature to hide behind something because we can't seem to deal with the struggle, you know? And that's just one of those things that we all have to work on. Do I think it's ever going to be fixed? No. But if we're talking about this real shit and we can bring, you know, some kind of awareness to something about, hey, get your ass up, deal with your shit, let's move forward. You know, no one should be at peace. Stop overindulging in, you know, whatever it may be, in anything, you know, stop overindulging in porn or bad food, or, you know, or
right.
Anything. And
face your shit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, everybody has their issues, but we have an abundant access to things that's fucking up our psyche because we can literally get anything we want in a few seconds.
Exactly.
And it's great, but it's also something that can spiral into something else.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's a quick, like I said, it's a quick instant gratification. Like, it's a quick fix.
Yep.
But done with that, what? You're back to square one. Just like when people just like when people overeat, like they're feeling some type of way and they can't handle it and they freak the freak out and they go twist off or they go emotional eat. And it's like, okay, you're done with that. So now what? You're probably still there. You haven't fucking fixed it. How many years do you want to keep repeating that pattern? How many years do you want to be miserable? Like, life is too short. We're not even promised tomorrow. All we have is, so why not make it the freaking best? Why not be happy? Happy is a great thing. It's a great thing and it's a choice, and you have the free will to create it every day. You just have to go through the shit, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep, I agree. Well, we've been yelling at people. We have their attention now. So let's talk about some real shit. It's a new year. Everyone gets on the fitness train. And here's the thing. We can talk shit about that or we can use it to our advantage. So I think I'm not going to talk shit because everyone wants to be new year, new me. Let's leave 2020 in the past. Here's the thing. When we start these things, let's stay doing it. Let's stay with it. So I want you to, you know, yell at these people real quick about what they need to do. You know, whether it be mindset, getting with the trainer, working on things. What's the first step, in your opinion, you would give someone for advice?
Make the action. Take the action. And make sure that you have this correct. Because when you make up your mind and you say you're going to do something and you follow through with the action, you have to create a habit. And it is an everyday thing. But if this is not correct, you can go to the gym and easily fall off. If you don't have this in alignment, you're done. Okay. So I say the most important thing is mindset and follow with the action, because the mindset is number one and the action behind it is what's going to get the results. And doing that being consistent over time, every single day, just being done with the laziness, being done with feeling a certain way, and make it and freaking take action every day.
Agreed. Here's the thing. You don't have to have beautiful sculpted abs like Micah, but
this is taking a lot of discipline, let me tell you, okay?
If you want to work on yourself, you have to take that initial step, you know, and it's something everyone struggles with. I feel like 90% of people in this world aren't happy with who they are. And a lot of people, especially in our states, are extremely obese and do not take care of themselves. Hence why people are dying from disease and, you know, things like this. And, you know, whether it be depression to suicide to, you know, hypertension, stress to heart attack, or diabetes, early onset from, you know, childhood all the way to, you know, you shouldn't be having health issues at your mid 50s. You know, we should live to 100. We have the technology, we have the knowledge.
Yeah. Can we talk about nutrition for a minute? Because nutrition is everything. Yeah. I would say, I could tell you anything, nutrition is everything. You are what you eat. There is no way getting around it. You know, so many people say that they eat to live or they live to eat. Yeah. Like, you are what you eat. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. You know, so many people are eating such crap and they wonder why they're and fatigued and all of this stuff. Like, food matters, you know, it really truly does. And it is the most abused thing out there. Yeah. Seriously. You have to have your nutrition on point. I would say it's 90%.
I agree. I mean, that is the hardest thing for people, because they lived a lifestyle for so long eating the wrong shit. And it sounds like a good idea, but so many people have it's like a convenience thing, and they just literally will not put down the damn soft drink or the McDonald's or whatever it may be, you know?
Because it makes you feel good. Yeah. Because it's good. Yeah. It makes you feel good, and then they feel like shit. So it's a catch-22. And and you know, when you're on that health track, like I'm a health nut, I crave smoothies. I crave juices. I crave that stuff because it makes me feel good. Yeah. And when people make that change and they start seeing the results, then it becomes an addiction. But guess what? That I've never heard of freaking working out and taking care of yourself as a bad addiction. So
right. Well, we'll talk about that for a second too. So if you're overindulging in carbs, it's going to rise your hormone levels. It's going to make you tired. You're going to take on more weight. You're going to take on more sugar, and it's going to keep you from wanting to do something. Yep. Whether you're male or female. Female's worse than male, but still, you know. And that's not saying anything. It's just how we're built. And leaning on those bad things constantly. Look, I love my cheat meals. I have them.
Me too.
I'll eat a whole damn pizza, but I work my ass off for an entire week to have that one damn pizza to feel like shit for 2 hours after I eat it. And I don't do it a lot. But the thing is, it's like, what I tell a lot of people, and you don't have to do the rabbit food, you know what I mean? You just take small things out, you know, any adjustment's a good adjustment. You know what I mean?
That's what baby steps.
And yep. This is extremely important. Probably, in my opinion, and I'm not some kind of scientist, but I'm telling you, this is the most important thing you can put in this.
It's everything.
For those who aren't watching and are just listening, I'm talking about this big ass douchebag gallon of water I have right here.
That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Water. And I will say one more thing. Stress.
Yeah. Stress. Oh yeah. Cortisol levels through the roof.
You're done. So there is if you are not in peace and if you are not in a good set and you have stress going through your body, there ain't no motherfucking workout, nutrition, anything you do that is going to help you. Yeah. When you have cortisol going through those freaking hormones, that you're done. So if you have any kind of darkness, any kind of negativity, any kind of toxic, cut that shit out. Yeah. Cut it out and release it and be free and start over.
And that's something that a lot of people have trouble with, and they'll say, what's easier said than done? Well, dude, look, Yes, it is. But nothing we talk about in life, we don't discuss easy shit. We don't. You're not, your legacy isn't built on something that was easy.
Absolutely.
If you're going to do something for yourself, for your loved ones, for your kids, it has to be, it's going to be hard no matter what it is. But, you know,
Yep.
I hate to be the person that's like preaching, you got to do better. If you want to be a fat piece of shit and die at 55, that's your business. But, you know, the people listening or watching that need that little extra, get your ass up and let's do some stuff. And we're here, we're all in this shit together and we're trying to thrive, survive, and also overcome any adversity that we're faced on a daily basis. You don't have to be scared and hiding in your house with a mask on if you're healthy.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, we know that these people are dying because they have pre-existing health conditions. Can other people get it and die? Yes. But my first step of defense would be working on my health. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Working on the immune system that they never talk about. Yes.
All right. One more thing. I get tired of hearing the bullshit excuse that eating healthy is more expensive. I want your opinion on that.
Well, let me tell you, would you put a price on your health?
No.
This is what I say. You can be the healthiest motherfucking person in the world. I mean, not the healthiest, the richest person in the world.
Yep.
Let's say you're a billionaire, okay? Let's say you have all these health problems. What the fuck good is that gonna do, having all that money and living the lifestyle, if you feel like shit? If you don't have your health, you have nothing. So make sacrifices because your body will appreciate it. It will change the game. And there are always things that you can find that are not expensive.
Yep.
You just have to be smart with it and find it. There's always ways out. There's always ways around.
I mean, I started the old school meal prepping like 10 years ago, and I can quick to tell you, if you eat out 24/7 or eat, you know, microwavable dinners and frozen pizzas, that it all stacks up to about the same price as spending the money on fresh meat and vegetables and prepping your meals out for the week. I know that for a fact. What happens is people don't want to do that extra work, and that's fine. But here's the thing: if you don't want to do, if you're not willing to sit your ass down and prepare, or at least think of 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day thinking about what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
How fucking lazy are you if you're not going to spend 5 minutes a day on yourself thinking about, well, maybe I shouldn't have had that Snickers bar. Maybe I should have a protein bar instead, or a handful of almonds, you know, whatever it may be. 5 minutes a day.
Yep. Being conscious enough. If you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness.
I completely agree. What's your favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Pizza. I had a pizza yesterday. It was so good. That's my go-to.
Are you a pineapple on pizza kind of gal?
I am not.
People love to rant and rave about that. It's funny. It's always funny.
I like jalapenos on my pizza. I like jalapeno on my pizza with some ranch.
Nice. So you're talking about some serious stuff.
Oh yeah.
Favorite exercise for you? Favorite exercise for a client getting started out?
Oh my dear God. Okay, for me, I would say I like to work legs, so I would do thrusters because I'm a beast mode. I'm pretty strong, and I think that works the best. I mean, as far as your hamstrings and your glutes, I think that is the best freaking.
And for those who don't know what that is, it's where you lay down and you put the ball.
Press like Listen, hey, it works your lower back and it works those hamstrings like nobody's business and those glutes. So, ladies, listen up. No, for a client, I would say just I like to get them in a squat. I like to see their form. I like to check their form, and I want to see where they're at. That's the number one thing that I look for. So
see, man, we can do this all day. Okay, so that's funny.
We can do it all the time.
So the squat thing. So people see Instagram videos and they go in there and try to do something. They end up either creating a horrible form from the jump, and then moving forward, creating hip issues, back issues, not succeeding in what they're trying to do. So my advice there would be to find someone like yourself and get, or find someone who may be a friend of theirs who may have advised them to get into health and fitness. And I think the squat is the foundation of building a total body.
It's everything. The squat, from there you can fix everything, and your core. Your
Right.
core is your foundation. Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course.
absolutely.
But you know, like this is the biggest issue, is like you have the big dudes who don't work out legs. You have the people who lift and don't work out their core, and so they end up having lower back issues and stuff like that. I completely agree. Core is the most important thing, but I do think that I agree with you when you say starting them out with a squat and making sure their form's correct there, because from there they can build on everything.
Absolutely. Yes, that's 100% correct. And making sure they work on the flexibility. That is everything. Getting that range of motion, getting the whole range of motion. So many people have so much tightness in their body, like their hips, their joints, everything, because they don't stretch. I am huge with stretching. Like, you warm up, we're going to stretch after. We're going to work on that flexibility so that you can get the proper range of motion, so you prevent injury and all kinds of.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing martial arts and, you know, training, fighting MMA, I would stretch 45 minutes to an hour before I even trained.
Yeah, you get it's so important, and people don't do it enough.
Yeah.
They don't.
And look, I'm guilty of it sometimes. I'm in there trying to hurry up and go lift real quick, and I'll take sometimes I'll do that. I'm like, shit, I didn't stretch for, you know, at least 5 damn minutes, especially the groups of the muscles that you're going to work out or just got finished working out that day.
Yes.
You know, these are things that I mean, these are things people don't talk about, you know.
Yeah, static stretching and dynamic stretching. Those are before and after.
Okay, CrossFit, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, yoga. What's your favorite?
I like HIIT. That's what I do.
HIIT. Cool. Sorry, I left that one out.
You did, and that's what I do.
I know, damn it. Sorry. I'm over here in meathead mode.
It's where it's at, because it's high interval intensity training.
Yeah.
It's 45. You come in, you get your ass kicked. I work on your heart, so I'm training your heart by taking it up, taking it down, taking it up, taking it down. The stronger you get your heart's a muscle. The stamina, the strength, the endurance, and everything changes.
From there, what are your thoughts on, so we talked about stretching, so I'm sure, and I see your t-shirt, you're a huge yoga fan.
I love yoga too. Yoga is amazing. So yoga is more of a spiritual thing. You know, it's like getting body connection, really focusing on the movements, you know, doing the stretching, working on the flexibility. I am super, super high strung. As you know, I go all day. So when I do yoga, I can really get grounded and centered and like be in my present moment and really enjoy the stretches.
Yeah, and people don't realize either yoga burns some fucking calories.
Yeah, it does, because you off.
Yeah.
Try holding a pose for a certain amount of time. Your legs are gonna start shaking.
Yeah.
You know, really good. It's really good.
You talk about your energy, and I'm sure that helps level it. But have you always had an abundance of energy, or do you feel like that your energy is?
Girl.
Yeah.
I literally was. I was like an Energizer bunny. I've been like this since I was a little girl. So abundance of energy. It never runs out.
And I think a lot of people don't have that, and it all attributes back to stress, you know, or whatever they're dealing with in their life that's not motivating them to do anything else, you know. Like, and another thing is like with stretching, with yoga or anything like that, your body holds stress too from an emotional, mental state, and you don't realize it if you don't release it.
Exactly. That causes imbalances, and it causes pain. It causes inflammation. Like, you store emotions in your liver. Like, you know, in your neck is anger. Like, if your neck is hurting or tense, that's anger and frustration. You know, and if your throat is like, if you know how people go, or speaking, it's because their throat chakra is clogged. They're not speaking their truth about something. Like, it's all consciousness, and when you get down to the spiritual aspect of it, then it really makes sense.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like that that's your mentality on it, and you know, it's really important, because no matter what your beliefs or how you look at it, it all goes back to, you know, that mindset, you know, state of mind and where you're at, you know. Yeah.
Feeling your shit, feeling what you're feeling. Like, don't suppress what you're feeling. So many people do that. Like, they'll feel angry or they'll feel sad and they'll bury it. And they'll bury it. Yep. And they'll bury it. Feel it. So listen, like people can freaking have outbursts and nervous breakdowns because all of that emotion trapped, I mean, you're going to release it one way or the other.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with it, that's not good. Like if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling some type of way, I'll feel what I'm feeling and be like, I'll ask myself, like, why am I feeling this way? Or what triggered me? Or how do I need to shift this? Because this is what I'm feeling. It's just a temporary emotion. I'm going to feel it, but then I'm going to release it. Let it be okay.
Yeah.
Let it okay.
I completely agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can sit down and fight with those things. You can build them, bottom them up, and it's just going to be worse when they come out.
Yep.
Supplements. What's your thought on those?
Okay, so I mean, I'm good with like the glutamine, and the amino acids, the branched chain amino acids and stuff like that in your vitamins. What I really, really have done something that worked is called pure therapeutic ketones. So what it does, it helps you run on ketones instead of glucose. So you actually get a 38% cellular increase in oxygen. So it helps actually get more oxygen in your lungs. You can actually work out harder and it helps you recover quicker. And it just gives you mental focus. So many people's mind is so cluttered and like they're all over the place. They can't think straight and they're just foggy or they'll stutter. And this stuff is like, I mean, it's like jet fuel. It's the best shit I've ever probably tried in my life.
Well, that's cool. I've seen that stuff, and there's a lot of back and forth over those things. But if it's something that's going to create a natural reaction in your body, I think it's great.
Yes.
I am the poster child for taking all the wrong shit when I was younger. Not drinking enough water, taking too many proteins, taking pre-workouts, eating too many protein bars, thinking I was being healthy, putting all this manufactured shit into my body. Now I'm more like a whole foods, kind of carnivore, low carb. That's kind of what I do. I don't really take any. I take glucosamine, a good multivitamin, some green supplements, and that's literally it, And I feel better now. I'm 31. I feel better now than I did. I feel better now than I did at 21, and I think it's just becoming more body aware. And as anyone gets into their journey, whether it be holistically, mentally, physically, you find that.
We're like a fine bottle of wine. We get better with age.
I agree. Well, look, it's almost been an hour. Damn, it went by really quick. So, any final thoughts from you? Any advice for anybody? And it doesn't have to be just about training or beginning of the year. Just anything at all that we haven't talked about, put out there.
Absolutely. Love yourself. Love yourself. Truly, truly love yourself. Your flaws and any baggage, any shit that you've gone through, know that you're special and there's only one of you on this whole entire planet. So own that shit. Be cool with your quirks and your kinks and whatever the hell you got, like in your personality, let it shine and be who you are. And whatever you're going through, know and believe that it's only temporary. It will pass. This too shall pass.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's awesome. The Beastress herself, Micah Cook. Thank you so much. Everyone, please subscribe to the podcast.